There has been a massive amount of turmoil going on. Have you felt it too? Not just in the world, not just in people, but in the universe itself, in the sun, in the earth, and since my last video, this is a follow-up. Because what's happening right now is not something we can ignore anymore. It's not subtle, it's loud, it's shifting, and honestly sometimes it feels utterly crazy. Even the weather here reflects it. One moment it's sunshine, then snow, almost spring, and then ice and cold again. Like the planet can't decide what season it is. And I know people will say, it's just weather. But I watch nature long enough to know when something feels different. And this year, it does. It feels like the veil is thin, like something is moving. Maybe you felt it too. Restless nights, strange dreams, emotional waves that hit out of nowhere. Tired but wired, sensitive but numb. Calm one moment, anxious the next. And I want to say this clearly, you're not weak. You're not broken. You might simply be responding to the environment. Because what we're living through isn't only social chaos, it is energetic chaos. And so much of what's unfolding now is connected to what's happening with the sun. The sun has cycles, and we are moving through a very intense phase. Magnetic fluctuations, storms, surges, and yes, it affects technology, signals, satellites, navigation, but it also affects us. Our nervous system, sleep, mood, heart rhythm, mental health. This isn't fantasy. It's been known in science and medicine for years, but it still hasn't fully reached mainstream awareness. And if people truly understood how connected we are to the sun and earth's field, we would stop acting like we're separate from nature. We'd stop treating it like a background. We start treating it like the living system we belong to. And maybe we'd be kinder to ourselves too, because sometimes the reason you can't get it together isn't because you're failing. It's because the world is shaking and your body knows. And then there's another layer to all of this. Something growing louder every day. This wave of people seeking disclosure. UFOs, UAPs, strange sightings, lights in the sky, stories from all over the world. People filming, searching, sharing experiences, hunting for answers. And whether you believe in it or not, something is happening in human consciousness. People are questioning reality itself. And I think this is deeply human. We want evidence. We want proof. We want to hold something in our hands and say, see, now it's real. But I want to challenge that. Because think about it. You can't see a thought, yet it can build a life or destroy one. You can't see love, yet it changes people every single day. You can't see grief, yet it can live inside the body like a storm for years. You can't photograph intuition, yet it has saved people, warned them, guided them home. So maybe the question isn't, is it real only if I can see it? Maybe the question is, what do I feel when I witness it? Because sometimes reality doesn't begin with proof. It begins with recognition, a deep inner knowing, and that's what many people are experiencing right now. This feeling that we're standing on the edge of something, that the world we thought we knew isn't as solid as we believed. And yes, that can be terrifying, but it can also be liberating. Because if reality is wider than we were taught, then maybe our lives are wider too. Maybe we are not meant to live small, not meant to spend our time only surviving. Maybe we're meant to lift ourselves, not in a perfect spiritual way, but in a grounded way, a human way, a way where we come back into connection with Earth, with our bodies, with nature. Because nature doesn't lie. Nature doesn't manipulate. Nature doesn't create drama for entertainment. Nature responds to truth, and that's why animals can become messengers. So if you feel like you're in between worlds right now, you're not alone. If you feel like you're shedding an old version of yourself, you're not alone. If you feel the collective is restless, confused, hungry for answers, you're not imagining it. But the most important thing I want to say is this: don't get lost in the fear. Don't get addicted to the chaos. Yes, stay aware, but don't forget what steadies you. Because so many people are searching right now, chasing proof, chasing answers, chasing the sky. And I understand it. We want certainty in a world that feels unstable. But what I've learned, and what nature keeps teaching me, is that the most extraordinary things rarely reveal themselves when we are hunting. They come when we are quiet, when we are present, when we are grounded enough to receive. And sometimes they come when we are pressured the most, when life is heavy, when we feel pushed to the edge, when we're exhausted and almost giving up. That's often when something happens, not always in a way we can explain, but in a way we can feel. A sign, a presence, a moment of protection, a sudden stillness in the air, like a safe opening around us, whispering, "Hold on, there's something more than this." And maybe that's the point, not to prove the mystery, but to let the mystery remind us we're not alone. Because the phenomena people want so badly to capture often comes to the ones in deep connection with the earth, the ones who walk slowly, the ones who listen, the ones who don't force the moment, but become part of it. Raising your frequency isn't about being more spiritual. It's about being more real, more calm, more rooted. And from that place, we can sense what we cannot see, feel what we cannot explain, know without needing to prove. So if you feel overwhelmed by everything shifting right now, go back to the earth. Let your nervous system remember it belongs to something older than headlines. Let us keep growing a connectedness of positive energy with the earth, with nature, and with peace. Because when we stop chasing and start listening, the unseen has a way of finding us. Stay kind and shine your light.